Hello and welcome back to West Ham Network and the Old School Hammers. To my, got it that way. Left is Kieran. How are you, mate?
Good, right? Good.
Yeah.
Not so good after the weekend result, I think. But yeah, everyone's good here.
We'll get to that shoddy affair in a minute. So the weather looks nice, mate.
Yeah, it's that beautiful, mate. Waiting to come into water. Winter. We're in autumn now. It's just lovely. Lovely sunny days, mate. Getting a bit cooler though in the morning. So put a jumper on this morning when I got up at 5:30. But
Right, but cool, yeah.
It's lovely, yeah. 16 to 25, man. 26. It's a lovely temperature, man.
Yeah.
I think I say that every week now. It's that time of year that's it's nice.
It's your favourite part of the year, isn't it, when it starts getting cooler?
It probably is, yeah, because you have lovely days and then you haven't got all that humidity and sweating your balls off through the night, you know. So it's good.
Good evening, Steve. Thanks for joining us.
Maltese, I know. There you go, mate.
Yeah, and Steve Tiley as well. Good evening to you,
Steve and Steve.
Two Steves. Nice to see you both. And Brendan. Kieran and Chatters. James Bong, early Bongo. Nice one, mate. Well done, Sir Bongo Dictator. Brendan, CMB have a live chat going on.
Do they? What are they up to?
Yeah, they do. They started at about 10 past 10, I think.
Is he renting yet, Brendan? Is the whole net going in?
Probably. I did have a little peek for about 5 minutes. So, yeah.
No, I didn't have time this morning. But yeah, he's quite entertaining, Nick, when he gets into one, then he lets it go.
Yeah. And they're talking about a similar topic to what we've set up to talk about.
I'd say he probably, I guess he's researched more than I have, man, and those people I know.
And probably me, you know. I mean, I've kind of tried to avoid the hype when it comes to the manager thing, you know. But I like the title of the thumbnail. What is David Sullivan up to? Because I think it is a David Sullivan. It stinks of him. But anyway, let's see who else is in the chat. Mark Pendleton, good evening to you, sir.
Hey, Mark.
Evening, Steve Tiley. And I must admit, I'm already...
See that, Brendan? Yeah. What Brendan's saying there, I feel like in this last week that because of that result against Palace and probably the Fulham result, the season's over, right?
Yeah.
And that, you know, that rumour season we both hate, budget. We're rumoured to linked to every player. We're linked. I think, like what Brendan there, I think it's already fucking started, and I'm bored shitless of it already. I'm just fucking, you know, because it's the same old thing. We got that big excitement about what's his name, that fucking manager, and you go, wow, we can't be going there. We can't be getting in. That's well done starting, and then it was quickly kiboshed by the looks of things. So, here we go again, mate. We're going to be ups and downs. So I tend to try and avoid mostly because it's...
Yeah. I mean, the thing was, you know, he was photographed, you know, coming to London, was seen in London. You know, I mean, I think
that the meeting happened. I actually had a chat with Gonzo the other day about. I just thought that it looked to me that he was setting it up to push the Liverpool maybe to get a better deal with Liverpool, maybe whatever. But to me, it was just a fishing expedition at West Ham. So anyone else that really wants him will take notice and maybe make their move. That's what it comes across to.
A lot of people are saying that Arne Slot is #1 choice for Liverpool.
All right. Well, we'll see. Even Liverpool fans don't know, do they? What their #1 choice is anymore.
No. But to be fair, it's all speculation, you know. And,
exactly.
You know, I look, I don't mind a bit of speculation because it kind of gives you a little bit of spice and that. But you know, look, even if Amiron or whatever his name was,
something like that.
Even if he did take, you know, even if he was in about taking over at West Ham, I mean, like, you know, like Brendan said, you know, TMB are chatting about it at the moment, and I caught a few minutes, and they even said that, well, it was Nick that said, you know, if he did take the job, right, that he would not want it public knowledge right now because he's got the Portuguese league. Possibly he could walk away with it. He's already 7 points clear. He could walk away with the title at the weekend. He's got the Portuguese, you know, like their equivalent of the FA Cup coming up at the end of the season. You know, so he basically probably would want to keep his players focused on that rather than we're losing our manager at the end of the season.
You think so? But then,
well, I can see the point. I can see that point, but then there's also the point that he's turned us down as well. You know, he could have turned us down. So, you know, I can see either side of it. That they made very good points for both of them, for both of those arguments. You know, and I'm like you said, I'm not researched enough to really know much about any of the guys that have been spoken about, other than Lopetegui. And you know, I actually I think he's quite a good choice.
Like I said before, but this is the thing with Sullivan. I thought Stein was the best signing we've made for years because it looks to the future. Now, if Sullivan's going to go in and stop him doing his job or have his opinions of what manager, he shouldn't. Just fuck off, stay away. Now, let's start and pick the manager for good or bad. Whether it works or not, you've got to let it go and you've got to let him do what he does. And we have to trust that. If he doesn't want Lopetegui, well, then don't fucking get him. Get him who he wants. Yeah. Lopetegui doesn't really excite me very much, I must say.
This guy that we were talking about that's come over from Portugal, you know, I can never bloody remember their names. Like I said, I haven't researched it, but apparently he already knows Steiden quite well. I think they've worked together before. So, you know, it could be, you know, like Nick said on Claret and Booze just a little while ago. Yeah, it could be that he's basically said to Tim Steiden, look, okay, I'll take the job, but I don't want it known outside of these four walls right now. Do you know what I mean?
We'll see. Yeah, just let it play out as it does.
And Steiden's already got a close relationship with the reporter guy. What's his name? Fabrizio Romano. He's got good working relationship with him as well. So, you know, and it was him that broke the story that within 24 hours that he weren't coming to the club.
Yeah.
So, you know, it could be that. I mean, it could just be that also that because West Ham are struggling to sell season tickets at the moment, it could just be that, you know, hang on, we give them a name, it might drive them to come and get a ticket. And well, no, sign the bloke first, and then the tickets get sold.
You'd have to be ridiculous to think that's the truth. But, you know,
but
I mean, would Sullivan think that? He might think that's a good idea. But, I mean, until someone's signed, no one believes anything, do they?
No, that's the point. That is the point. you know.
So anyway.
And, you know, I don't know what the percentage of season ticket is that has sold yet. I'm not sure, actually. I don't even know how I would find that out. If I'm honest, I'm not technically minded. So if anybody can tell me in the chat what the percentage is that's sold, it's Amarim. There we go. That fella.
That's it, Amarim. Yeah, I was going to say Almiron, but yeah, it is Amarim. I keep fucking it's gone out of my head. God, I do like the look of him, though. And I like his I like his resume.
Yeah, I like his philosophy towards the game. It's quite an exciting. He plays 3-4-3. 3-4-3. But he can adapt. He's willing to adapt during the game, you know, and in response to losing the ball, you know, he might drive another player back into a 4 at the back, you know, and things like that. So, you know, he's a manager that's very attractive on paper, you know. But
he's definitely ambitious for West Ham, which is a good thing because we should be showing ambition. I think this is why Steiten's there. Should be ambitious. If he turns us down, he turns us down. But at least we're fishing in the right pond. I'm not sure Lopetegui's in the right pond, but
no,
maybe it doesn't excite me very much that that's all. But we'll see. We'll see what.
Brendan's made a fair comment here. All the names linked with us are linked with every other team that are maybe looking for a coach. Not sure why the big names will come to the London Stadium without Europe.
I think
the thing is, we've had Europe for the last 3 years, which is a bit of an attraction because like a new coach coming in will be able to rebuild to go back for that. Not this season, obviously, but next season. You know, the following season. So, you know, there's a project there, and we're looking for a coach that will have a project in mind. You know, I believe that I do believe. You know, because it's been clear that at the moment David Moyes has got no idea how to spell project, let alone implement one. You know. So,
yeah, if he's one of them managers that likes to build his own and make the team his own, this is perfect for it because it's such a lot of players that need to be replaced, and between him and Steiten, there's your project. But we'll see.
Brendan says Sully seems to be manoeuvring this so he can stick with the devil he knows.
So not Brendan.
That's very pessimistic, Brendan. Sullivan will undermine Steiden and he'll walk.
Well, that's what you can't afford.
No, we can't afford that to happen. But that is a bloody good shout. You know what Sullivan's like. My fucking money, I'll do with it as I see fit. I bet it'll be a bundle of laughs over at C&B tonight. Be what I love. Bring your own laughing gas. I do enjoy the rants.
Same here, Brendan.
Yeah. Well, that's why
we're talking bollocks now. We're talking about managers already. Where poor old Moyes is sitting there going, "Fuck this." They're throwing up managers every fucking day, and I'm still here sitting here.
Breaking news, according to James Bond. Fat Sam and that Avram Grant was spotted at Canary Wharf Kebab House tonight. Brilliant.
Yeah, Fat Sam will be in there, all right.
Yeah. Look what Glasner has done at Palace recently. 3 straight wins. They may finish above us.
Yeah, they might, mate.
Absolutely, mate. I know absolutely nothing about him. I can never remember his name, but I know what kind of a job he's doing. You know, he's having an impact and he's doing really well. Look at the way they absolutely slaughtered us on Sunday.
They were good, man. They were good. I thought they were. We were absolutely terrible. But
we only actually scored
after 15 minutes of that game, I'd given up, right? I knew that we were fucked, right? We're getting hammered here. And I took my footballing head off, my West Ham head off, and I was just watched Palace's football. My God, they were good. They were so good.
Elise and Eze. Oh my gosh, them two lovely players, aren't they? Lovely players.
But even the geezer in the middle turned into a fucking De Bruyne. They were fucking good, really good. They exploited all our weaknesses and done it very well.
Everyone, yeah.
It could have been 9 or 10. Simple as that.
Yeah. So, as we're on the subject of the game, I've decided that I don't even want to think about player ratings because I think everyone's going to get a 0. and everybody.
When you're that poor, there's no point. Everyone shit.
No. And it was a real shoddy affair. I think I watched it until it was 3-0, and then I thought, can't be bothered with this no more. And I didn't bother watching anymore, so I didn't see either of our goals. Still haven't watched the highlights, but apparently we scored an own goal. Is that correct?
Well, they scored it. Yeah. Oh mate, ridiculous.
Yeah, and
bagged it back to the keeper.
Wasn't there an own goal at either end though?
Oh God!
We got one from Palace, and Palace got one from us.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm
there was a deflection, Gazer, but I think it was a deflected goal. But
okay.
But no, it was just ridiculous. I mean, the keeper just let it run through him. Mad, terrible keeping.
Yeah. Do you know? I don't even know who scored for us. I just have.
5-2 flat does because it could have been 9-1. Would have been a fair result. But there you
go.
Yeah. Our season is fizzled out. And,
yes.
I thought it didn't. See, the Fulham game done me with it, Budge. I thought our season was over then with the Fulham game because I never really believed we'd get over Leverkusen, even though we had a great 45 minutes against them. That was lovely. But we run out of legs, run out of steam when we run out of a bench because we haven't got one. And that to me, that was it. That was the season done with. We're not going to qualify for Europe.
And that really and truly for me is the cardinal sin that David Moyes has made all season. He hasn't given us enough of a variety of players, a choice of players that can switch a game up. Whenever we've been under the cosh, we've got nothing in reserve. Nothing. Like we stand no chance this weekend coming. Absolutely no chance.
I find it crazy, right, that a coach or a manager, or whatever you want to call him, right, can stand there and say he likes to work with a small squad, right? And then when you see our Leverkusen game away, their substitutions changed the game. They've got them their 2 late goals. And then at the London Stadium, their substitutions came on and changed the game and got them the draw to put them through. And then look at that, Mr. Moyes. You've got over 1,000 games under your belt, but you can't see that a bigger squad and a better bench can win you games. So there you go.
Yeah, Skamaka on the score sheet again, 15 in all competitions.
Yeah, well done, Mr. Skamaka.
Yep. We should put an offer in. Yeah. X just tweeted, we're interested in Sebastian Hoeneß of Stuttgart.
All right. Another Sebastian?
Yeah.
Don't know.
I take it that's their manager, is it?
I don't know.
Let me Google it on another page.
I laughed at. I even watched the highlights of Leverkusen at the weekend. They've done it again. 1-0 down, and the 97th minute they score the equaliser to keep their run going. Fucking unreal, man. They're so good between 85 and 100 minutes, or 90. I'd normally say 95. They so many goals in that last 10 minutes. And that reminds me of the days, you know, when Man United were dominating. Yeah. And Ferguson was dominating. The time they would score goals to turn, you know, 1 point into 3 points, or no points into 1 point. They'd always do it in that last 10 minutes and never stop. Ferguson had that team that you never give up, no matter what. And they got so many points. They won so many points in that last 10 minutes of a game.
Yeah.
And this is what Leverkusen do.
Right, hang on, bear with me. Right, okay, so God, what am I doing?
Ooh.
What have we got here? Got loads of stuff here. Look. There we go. Is that on the screen or what? I don't know. Yeah, I think
it was. It's got all sorts on there.
There we go. Right, this is the fella. Yeah, so he's a coach.
He is a coach. He's got a beard. Put him in.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, he's got a beard. Put him in.
Yeah. Got to be good.
Oh,
yeah, good pick.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that there's going to be a lot of names put in that. If we're showing interest in managers, surely that's an indication to Moyes that he's going to get his handshake at the end of the season, surely, isn't it?
Yeah. Look, every manager has these cycles, don't they? And they can leave. Not many managers leave on good terms and when they're at the top, which, you know, would have been nice if Moyes had walked away at the end of last season. But they don't. They wait for it to all turn to shit, and then it either gets sacked or they walk away. So yeah. Unfortunately for Moyes, it's turning to shit.
And to be fair, you know, over the last sort of like maybe 6 or 7 appointments that we've had, it has got very toxic towards the end of their time.
Yeah, nearly all managers do, Butch. That's my point. No matter where they are, it's very unusual. Like you've got Klopp now. Not that it's turning to shit, but he's going to walk away. He announced it. He basically finished at the top, but the season hasn't panned out for him. He's after tonight. My word. What actually great. I saw the second half when I got out of bed. I saw the second half, and my God, great battling performance by Everton. Really done well, man. Really done well. And they're not going to win the league now, and they're not even going to challenge for it now. For me, that's them out. That's them third. But yeah,
Fergie always had a good bench. Yes, he did, Gavin. He did.
Yeah, absolutely. He had a good bench.
I'll tell you another manager that always used to have a good bench was Arsene Wenger. He always had a good bench. He insisted upon, you know. And
I mean, it's to me, it's not rocket science. You know, in this, especially the Premier League, we play at such a high intensity, a pace, and all players are getting tired. You need fresh legs on at some stage, but you need quality of fresh legs. Not just people that just walk on. You need quality, and all good teams have good benches. From Man City to Liverpool or the old Man United, you've got to have it, man. You've got to have it.
Yeah. Agreed. Oh, good evening to you, sir. Good evening, Keith. Good to see you in the chat, sir. How are you? Where's your Moyes out banner, Kieran?
I don't need it anymore, mate, because it's going to happen naturally, isn't it? He's just going to walk away.
Do you know, I have to say, and I'm probably not going to be very popular for saying this, but we were talking about having a good bench. I think the manager that's had the best bench for us was probably Sam Allardyce.
Well, I can't remember that far back.
He always used to have a decent bench. Always.
Yeah.
No matter where he was, he's always had a few decent players on his bench.
It comes down to the squad building, doesn't it? He's had 4 years to build a squad. He's made it weaker. I can't understand that. I mean, I don't believe you can get to a January, let 3 players go, and just bring in one that didn't work out. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, he's almost decimated the squad. You know,
January was when you look at how the season's played out, Budge. All of them, Man United have been hit and miss. Chelsea have been hit and miss. Newcastle have been hit and miss. The opportunity there was there in January to take it because of the lack of form and consistency from all them other teams. 6th spot was available. If you had strengthened in January, what did we do? We weakened in January. It just, to me, that says all about Moyes. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Go on loan as well, of all things.
You know, it's crazy. I just can't understand.
You know why they did that, don't you? So that they could fund getting Calvin Phillips without dipping in their pockets. You know?
I just find it crazy that probably the money or the wages we took off the bill for putting them on loan or maybe selling one of them, right? Yeah. All them wages we saved were taken up by bringing Phillips in.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He cost a fortune.
To finance bringing in Calvin Phillips.
You're right. So it's negative. We didn't earn anything out of that.
No,
we just brought in a guy that's not worked out.
We lost 3 damn useful players, not good players, but useful players.
Only
for the sake of a rocking horse, you know.
Only at West Ham, guys. Can that happen? I think. You know, I thought them days were over when we've done something so ridiculous.
West Ham Clips could make a whole new series of things for that bloody window. Absolutely shocking.
No, you know, I could forgive that if I thought he had 3 of our youth team and he thought they were brilliant and they came on and they were great, you know, and he tried them out and they really. So you might have got away with it then, but he didn't even do that. He didn't even try them out.
Yeah, and that's a really good point, Mr. Tiley. Thank you very much for bringing that up. 9 times out of 10, Allardyce had Zarate on the bench, who was a good player, and he was. He was incredibly. What's the word I'm looking for? Explosive when he got on the ball.
Right. I think all your players on the bench should be good.
Yeah,
all of them.
We need to beat Liverpool to still.
Oh well, Stuart, it's on the cards, mate. Everton can do it. we can. Hey?
Who can do it?
They're beatable.
If who can do it?
Everton. They beat them tonight, mate. Everton beat Liverpool tonight.
Didn't they play last night? No.
No, this morning. For me, Everton just beat Liverpool 2-0.
Have they just?
Mate. Yes, that's what I was saying, Budge. That's a great battling performance, mate. They were under the pump, believe me.
They've scored 7 goals in their last 2 games then.
Who?
Everton.
No, they won 2-0 against Forest at the weekend and won 2-0 tonight.
I'm getting confused.
They got beaten by. They got 5 foot past them the week before, didn't they? By Chelsea.
I'm getting confused.
Yeah. So they've had 2 clean sheets and 6 points, which basically guarantees them safety. They're safe now. I'm pretty sure that's them safe. No way Luton are catching that. They must have about 33 points. There's no way Luton's catching that.
The Bowling Lounge, Evening Hammers. Good evening, Bowling Lounge, a.k.a. Ronnie Bubble, a.k.a. Jeff.
Hey, Jeff.
You, sir. Gavin says, Calvin, absolute flop, might get in.
Yeah. Hard to know where he goes after that. And it's not been a good advert for him, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Ben Rama loan fee 6 million, Phillips loan fee 7. One pile of shit cancels out another. Only difference, Phillips should be better than Ben Rama. Yeah, I get that. And then you also got to take into consideration we loaned out 4 nows. I think it was about 4 or 3 or 4. And Kara. And also, all of the wages that we're saving because their club that they're playing for is paying a percentage. Well, all have gone on 140 grand a week or whatever it is Calvin Phillips is demanding.
I mean, if we'd kept them, or even brought in someone if we'd got rid of them, we could have finished 2 places higher in the league, which negates all that money. Would be another 4 million in your pocket.
Yeah,
but
it was Arsenal 5, Chelsea 0 last night. Thank you, Brendan. And
that was up.
Steve was saying that Chelsea beat them 6-0.
Oh, 6-0 was it? So I knew he's a lot. Yeah,
and
good day,
house. Good evening,
but
boss.
they turned it round. And when you think they're with the 8 points they've taken, they would have 41 points by now, something like that.
Yeah, they'd be fighting for top 10. I think probably.
Yeah,
because I think remember, even though they lost points, they've also lost points in games subsequent to that they might not have lost because their heads were down. Do you know what I mean? They could have. I think perhaps out of I'm not sure what the exact number is, but perhaps even 6 points would have put them higher up in the league. You know what I mean? If they'd have won 2 of the games that they didn't.
Yeah.
6
and buts and maybes, but they'll survive. Like I say, they've got enough points to survive now for me, so they'll survive. Yeah. It's only Forest or Luton, as Steve says.
Sheffield United are down. Last place is between Luton and Forest. Yeah, I think Sheffield United haven't actually been confirmed by the Premier League as relegated as yet.
They lost again tonight, Budge. So that might be them.
That may now be it, yeah, because
that might be.
I think there was still a mathematical chance.
Right. Yeah, I don't know that. They've been gone for months, mate.
There isn't.
Regardless of mathematical or not, both of them have been relegated for months. It's only Luton that stand a chance.
Yeah. Kevin says our season is over.
Yeah,
not quite. I still think that we can get a point from Chelsea minimum, and I think we can get 3 points from Luton. And the way Liverpool are tonight, there's a good chance we might get a point from them on Sunday as well.
See,
so
the thing is with Liverpool and Chelsea, Budge, and I've been saying this for a while, and it did happen with Chelsea when I've been talking to Tits, is I think Chelsea is a team you could actually beat. But Chelsea in that same team, on their day, like they showed against Everton, they can fucking hammer a team with the firepower they got. Exactly. They could beat you. So
we've already beaten them once.
This is what worries me about Chelsea. I think Liverpool are the same.
Yeah, but we've already convincingly beat Chelsea.
And I think they're a team you can beat. But if we turned up like we did against Palace, they'll do the same.
It is also a lot easier to beat a team that are trying to become a team. That they were a squad of players. They weren't a team.
They still aren't much. Yeah, but they have got it in them.
It's much more difficult to go into their backyard and beat them. That's always been the case.
But you wouldn't. It's really hard to predict a Chelsea game anymore. Like I say, they can stick 5 past you, or they could lose 3-0. You don't know what you're getting with them.
Helen's in the house. Good evening, Helen. Thank you for joining us. Liverpool result gives me hope for Saturday.
Yeah, everyone can do them. Who knows, though? But I will say that, though. The difference being, Everton defended really well when they were under pump in that game. That Branthwaite and Tarkowski done really well. And the other little right back, they defended hard and fast. They were good. Our defensive performance against Palace was just non-existent. That's the way.
Yeah. Jeff's saying that he's playing darts tonight about as good as Phillips is in our midfield. So he's understanding how frustrated he must feel. So clearly you're not hitting any 180s or 140s then, Jeff. Palace done us a favour tonight at least. Yeah, true. They didn't do us any bloody favours at the weekend though, did they? Let's be honest. You are not on 150k a week. That's brilliant. True. Yeah. Big him up. He's not on 100.
No, it's just not. It's not worked out for him, and that's the end of it, mate. The boys.
Yeah.
He must be devastated himself, man. I'm sure he didn't come to West Ham. Have this happen.
I was laughing. It was so pathetic. Yeah. That's sort of kind of. I just didn't bother watching anymore when we were 3-0 down. We could easily end up 12th or 13th, and you compare that to last season's 14th place finish. Means the season is shit too. Yeah, good point. Yeah. Really good point. Not sure normally don't give us a chance against top teams, but they are not looking good lately. That is true. They have been a bit sluggish, but never write off that bloody Salah or Nunez.
No.
Both of them two players are as lethal as a rattlesnake, mate. I'm telling you. You know, I don't think that Liverpool have got a bad player in the squad, but there are certain players that will punish us. You know, because of the way our defence is set up, because of the lack of speed in our defence and the lack of they just don't seem to have the importance of what they do in their minds. It's like our defence has been really slack lately, really slack.
No. Oh well, we better next year.
Coffee? What are you drinking?
No, I've just got a juice. Got fed up with it. I've been drinking tea for the last hour and a half.
All right, juice.
Yeah.
Sure, it's not a
bit
drop of red.
Peanuts, huh?
Not a drop of red.
Jesus, it's 7:08 in the morning.
Yeah, never too early.
Even that wouldn't bother me. I can put a beer in my hand at any fucking time of day or night.
Yeah. Right, it's 11 o'clock.
I've got a bit of that. Oh, you had one this week, geezer. I had one this week. Crocodile's been at it.
That really? Right, let's have it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mate, we're in a great one. It's not, poor. It's right up to, you know, when I fell out the boat for the canoe up at Cairns, this is quite a few hours north of that. And two young lads there, 13-year-old, 16. It's in the Torres Strait. They boat fucking collapsed or whatever. They came out of the boat, so they had to swim to shore. A very similar story to mine. And two of them swam to shore, but only one of them made it. And then they couldn't find him. They eventually found his body, and it'd been attacked by a croc. You know, they realised that the poor boy was dead. And they sent a helicopter out and found the big 4-metre croc, and got rid of it, killed it. So the poor lad, lost his life to a croc, mate. Very similar story to mine, geezer. I only had 150 metres to swim to shore. They had about 500, and one of them didn't make it. Terrible.
Yeah, mate. Sad. Very, very sad.
It's sad, but there you go. You don't want to be in the water with crocs. As simple as that.
Well, no, or sharks or barracudas.
Yeah, but sharks. See, normally it's very rare for a shark to attack you. It is very rare. I mean, it can happen, but they don't really see you as food, and so you don't. But crocs will attack anything, right? Anything. They see something in the water. Like
1, 2, 3, 4. Right, I've seen Deep Blue Sea. I've seen all of them fucking movies, Megalodon and all that. I've seen all them movies. I don't get in the sea, right? But bugger that. Unless there's 400-ton of boat around me, I ain't going in the water. Right, simple as that. Got to head back for another belting beating now. Have a good show, guys. Thank you very much, Jeff. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit the like button, please, people, if you're entering or leaving or haven't done so yet. 62 goals conceding.
Yeah,
great defensive.
only 62. Yeah, not bad.
I think that's got to be
not too bad.
It's 63.
Do you think we can hit 80 by the end of the season?
Apparently, it's 63.
going up. Going up. We're not even playing, and it's going up.
And it's going up. Yeah, typical of West Ham, isn't it? Mr. Bong says about a month ago, the Dippers were going quadruple. Yeah, mate, about 7 or 8
Yeah, it's all over now, isn't it?
7 or 8 weeks ago, we were European champions 2 years running. And then last week, we realised we're not. 63, yeah. There you go. One of the... look. 67 comes Saturday. Yeah, probably, mate.
Yeah, I think we can hit 70. No problem.
One of the shames of the season is that Bowen probably will not get 20 goals. Yeah,
I mean, would be nice, wouldn't it, Brendan? If he could,
it would be
few at the end.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the interview.
Unlikely.
Did you watch that, by the way, Kieran?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And you know, he said he sets his targets at 10, double figures and double figures for assists. I think he's done that this season, you know, and he said anything else is a bonus, more or less, really. So he's setting himself he's setting himself realistic targets and exceeding them, which is good to see. Good to see. Hey lads, did you see on the news the horses? They were running around London this morning. A few people got injured. Oh gosh, no. Horses running around London. Oh. Been a few years since anything like that's happened, hasn't it? You know what I mean? I think the last animals that ran through London was, you know, the West Ham ICF, probably. I'm joking. There weren't no animals. They were all good boys. All good boys, mate. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about some of the potential changes that may come as a result of us changing our manager, because it kind of looks like that's on the cards. I'm not saying that I've had any insider info, but from all the reports that you're seeing, and some of them are from reliable sources, you know, like Sky, for example, and things like that. You know, and X is tweeting, and X isn't usually very far from the truth. You know.
No, we're looking, guys. I mean, it's simple as that. We're looking. There's no ifs or buts. Yeah, and he'll be gone. You definitely got to go.
There's going to be a massive change at the club. Now, I'm hoping that it's going to be a change for the positive, though. You know, like I know, look, I'm not harping on about the "be careful what you wish for" thing, because I really want Moyes to be gone now. I think he's reached his peak, and he's now on a downhill spiral, which he needs to get off the ride before it ends up, you know, him falling off at the end or whatever, you know. But I really do believe that, you know, we have got to be very, very selective about who we bring in, whether it's a big name or not, you know. And I just hope the club doesn't go backwards, you know, by getting another David Moyes or another Sam Allardyce or, you know, another Avram Grant. You know, they've got to spend a little bit of money. They've got to.
It's not about necessarily the money, but to me, it's about Steiner. If you've got to let him pick the manager, and for good or bad, and we'll see whether he can do it. But that's the future. He's got to work with Steiner. Now, you know, there was never going to be a total fucking fusion of Moyes and Steiner. It was never going to work totally. It was always going to be some kind of conflict there about bringing in players and him playing them, or whatever. That was never going to be a perfect match. Now, if Staunton brings in this manager, I have no doubt he'll be on the no illusions about what the future is for West Ham, the philosophy of football, and him bringing in the players. All that manager's got to do is work with him to say what he needs, and let's start and do the rest of that. That's how it should work. Now, if Staunton gets that wrong, well, then that's down to him. But at the moment, I think you've got to I'd rather put my trust in him than Sullivan, let's put it that way, or anyone else at that West Ham board. This Staunton is what he does. Let him bring that manager in, and let's see what happens. And like I've always said, Budge, and I've said it for all year, then it's going to be tough for us next year with the rebuild that needs to be done. We don't know exactly how many players are leaving, but there's a lot. So there's a lot of players to come in. So you need a manager that can deal with that and build. And like any manager, that you've got to give him time. And hopefully it works.
Yeah. I mean, look, with a couple of the players that we've picked up, and with Steiden being from the same club that we got Alvarez and Kudos from, what about the Ajax manager? What do you reckon on him? Would he be a potential target, do you think?
They've had one of their worst seasons they've ever had, so I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't know, mate. Like I said,
on the banner at the bottom.
Is it? So we could throw up managers all day long, but I think if you have got a project in Stein, you have to see it through with him. No matter who he picks, if you don't like him, who he picks, but all right, just see whether he can make it work. I think that's where you have to be.
Yeah.
Now, Amorim, obviously, that's obviously one of his picks, but that's aiming high, and that would be great. But we'll see whether we can get him or not. It doesn't look like it. But I'm sure he's got more than one choice.
Yeah, 19% win rate this year, this calendar year.
Not bad, mate.
Spectacular, isn't it? Spectacularly bad. On my last game of the season with David Moyes,
you'd like to think so, Stuart, wouldn't you? Just say thanks very much and see you later.
Yeah.
Rather it being,
Yeah, maybe. All fans, in or out, indifferent, need to be patient with the next coach.
Absolutely, Brendan. We need to be.
Right,
we need to be patient.
And, like I said earlier on in the conversation, we need to be going for a manager that's got like a 4 to 5 year plan, or a 3 to 5 year plan even, because obviously he's going to have to work with some of the squad that we've got, probably a majority of it, but then there's going to be a large number of players that aren't going to survive the chop, and unfortunately, it's going to be the players that are more advanced in age, I would have thought, first.
Yeah.
He's going to take the older players out. So that's the likes of, Antonio, Creswell. We've named them all before.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about Fabianski, because Fabianski is still very good at the age he is.
No.
In fact, he's got better over the last couple of years, in my opinion. As a shot stopper. Yeah,
he's been really, really good until that Palace game where he had a bad game. And that happens. That's life.
He had a bad game, but then so did everybody in front of him.
Everyone on the pitch. Yeah, everyone.
Everyone let him down. He let everyone else down. So, we've got to get you know what I mean. Wonder what kind of send-off Moyes will get at the Luton game.
Mate, you'd like to think it'd be a good one. What's the point now? What's the point? We know he's going. That's it. He's done and dusted. To me, there's no point in having a pop at him. Let him walk with a bit of dignity. He's done all right. It's just this season, I think, was one too many.
Another interesting stat from the season: we have won 7 away games more them we have won home games, 6. So be it first at the end of the season if we have won any more away games. Yeah. Right. They did sell a lot of their players through Kieran. Some to us, plus one of their coaches. He's talking about the Ajax manager, I believe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they do that nearly every year, Brendan. Especially when they have good seasons, Ajax, because there's no money in that league. They end up selling their best players nearly every season. I mean, there's so many good players come out of Ajax, and yeah, I understand that. That happens every year. It happened when Ten Hag was there. He should have won the Champions League that year. They were brilliant, really great, and they lost it late in the semi-final, I think. Might have been to Chelsea, but they should have won it. And then the next season, all the good players in that team were bought from pillaged from all over Europe. So it happens nearly every year at Ajax.
Tottenham beat Ajax a few years back in the Champions League semi-final, didn't they?
Maybe that's the one I'm thinking about. But
the year that,
but they were so good that year. So good. That's when I really took notice of Ten Hag, because I thought they were brilliant, played brilliant football. I thought he would be a good manager for us at the time. Yeah.
Maybe he would have been. It's not that great at Man United now, though, is it? I have got my stadium tour on Friday. Looking forward to it. Oh, brilliant, Stuart. Yeah. I hope you enjoy it, mate. I hope you get to see more of the stadium than I ever have. Because what I've seen is all right. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. But behind the scenes, I hope you get to see all of that. That'd be nice. That will be nice. Get out by the pitch. It'd be lovely. 17th in current form table. Yeah, thanks for that, Mark. That's just depressing.
Well, that's still out of relegation, though. Well, still out of relegation.
Yeah. Julian Lopetegui is 2-1 to replace David Moyes.
Yeah.
Wow, 2-1.
Well, he's a boy that really wants the job. The boy's putting himself out there for the job, so he wants it.
By the way, good evening, Mandy. Didn't say that. Thank you for joining us, sweetheart. Potter 3-1, O'Neill 7-1. Amorim and Carrick are 8-1.
Good. I don't want O'Neill. I'll put that up there. I definitely don't want him.
No,
that's to me. That's a step backwards.
I don't want Potter. To me,
I don't want Carrick either, to be honest.
No.
Maybe in the future that could be an option, but not now.
Yeah. Good evening, Ian. Ian R. That stadium tour is terrific. I really enjoyed it. Great. Thanks for letting us know, Ian.
Do you know there's a geezer on YouTube that goes and does these stadium tours all over the country, and I'd see it once. Yeah, he done the one at West Ham, and he enjoyed it. He thought it was good. He reckons the guy that runs it, I don't know if it's the same guy every time, but he was really, really good with, gave him a lot of information and showed him everything. Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah. Instead of moving to Stratford, we should have built a stadium on the old parcel depot near West Ham Tube Station. Oh,
yeah. I'm sure we had a spare fucking £1 billion to spend on a new stadium, Steve. Right? Fucking hell.
We rent our stadium at £3.80 a week, mate. I think the owners are well happy. Numbers going up. C&B must have ended.
I've seen that guy that does them, Everton's new stadium. It looks the bollocks, actually. It's on that dock, and it looks a really good stadium. And that win tonight, I mean, God, if they had got relegated, because they've got another year of building that stadium. They've got it all up, but I think it's not ready till not this season coming, but the season after. They had to stay in the Premier League, mate, with the money they spent on that. They had to, man. It was so important. That could send you bust, the money they spent on that stadium and getting relegated.
Does building a stadium add on to your FFP or whatever it is?
No, it doesn't.
It's nothing to do with that. It's all to do with the buying and selling of.
Yeah, I think it's the buying and selling of players and wages is the main thing. I think that doesn't come into it. You start, but what it does is all your monies are going into that and not buying players. So,
well, yeah, I mean, that's why they've got players like Tarkowski and that, isn't it? Because
and Ashley Young's still doing a job for them, So,
yeah, I'm surprised Blaney ain't still down.
Looks like it's going to be a nice stadium, though. Where they got it.
Yeah, let's hope so. It needs to be. Let's hope they can do better than we did at our new stadium for the first, year or so, and better than Arsenal did at their new stadium for a year or so. And it all seems to take a toll on teams, doesn't it, when they move? Yeah, I wouldn't mind putting a tenner on West Ham being the first club to get a win at the new Everton stadium.
Yeah, we've got a good record of that, Geezer.
We've done it to Arsenal. We've done it to Tottenham.
Yeah.
We've done it to City, I think. I think we did it to City.
I don't know about City, but definitely Arsenal, Tottenham.
I think it was. I think we did. Or did we?
I'm sure someone will tell you whether you're right, Budge.
Yeah, they will. But when they moved from Main Road to Etihad, I'm pretty sure we may not have been the first team, but I'm sure we were one of the first teams to beat them up there.
Okay. But yeah. So that was so important. So important for Everton.
Mark Hughes was their manager, wasn't it? When they moved to that stadium.
Was it? When he was in, yeah, he was shit. He was shit.
Oh, mate. Right, let's see. Oh, Keith's got a point here. Look, I'll be glad to see Moyes go, but let's remember we have been last 16 in Europe for 3 years running, and we've won a cup. Some great away nights. Moyes was part of that. Don't let him leave with some degree of respect. Oh, let him leave. Let him leave with some degree of respect. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, Keith, I go along with that, mate. Like I said, I am Moyes out now, completely Moyes out. But I want to go with a bit of dignity, and I have got full respect for everything that he's done at this club. Like you said, final 16 in Europe, 3 years running. A semi-final, a final that we won, and then a quarter-final. Fantastic stuff, isn't it? Fantastic stuff. We played some good teams, some not so good teams, but we've been to some lovely places as well.
Okay, it's you might as well just remember the good bits. I think we can all throw up 100 bad bits about Moyes, but for him to leave, just remember the good bits for an hour or so, and then we move on. There's no point in beating him in any more sticks, because I think he's done enough to himself.
I think he's had enough sticks over his back, you know what I mean? Good evening, Ray. Thank you very much for joining. Ian says, Sully will go for a safe choice and one that is out of work. That means...
Well, he likes to do that, and I'm hoping that he doesn't have that choice. I'm hoping Steinem picks it. If Sullivan gets involved, and that's the criteria, we need someone who's out of work, it's not going to cost us any money. Well, we're fucked from the start, aren't we?
We might as well go and get Harry Redknapp. Oh, no, he's got a job. He's got a job.
Find anyone's out of work. We can throw in Potter then. Fuck it, whatever. No, that shouldn't be the criteria. If we're prepared to spunk money and what we've done in the past, like you're buying Vlasic for all them millions, you're getting rid of Allaire, losing 20 million. Skamaka, you lost money there. Ben Rama, just so many. Crowd bring on low, don't play him. Surely we can spend money on a manager. If you're prepared to, in Phillips, another, 7 million down the piss or whatever it is, 5 million. Surely we can, if we have to pay a manager 15 million, fucking get it. If he's the right manager.
That's half of a decent manager's wage. Like, Stuart says the London Stadium will never be a better atmosphere than the Upton Park atmosphere.
Never, Stuart, never.
I agree with that. But I will tell you something. On certain days, and I'm sure you've experienced it, I think, because of the comment you put earlier, some of the days, some of the nights in that stadium, some of the days and some of the nights in that stadium have been incredible. Incredible. Yeah. You know, the game against last week, the German outfit, what they called Leverkusen. The atmosphere in there was fucking brilliant. Yeah. It was brilliant. You know,
it's like anything with atmospheres, it hasn't come from the pitch. And in that first 45 minutes, fuck me, it did come from the pitch. That generates the atmosphere. When you're watching dross, shit football, it's hard. How do you get atmosphere under that? You just can't. You've got to come from the pitch.
I completely agree. You know, I felt that the atmosphere against Chelsea this season, I felt that drove the performance on the pitch rather than the other way round, because we didn't particularly start off electric. It wasn't until Antonio, I think it was, got on a break that the crowd started really getting up for it, and that was about 4 or 5 minutes into the game. You know, there was obviously there was bubbles, there was a little bit of cheering here and there and that, but then once we saw that Chelsea could be opened up like a can of worms, the whole stadium got up for it. You know, that was for me, that was probably one of the best league games I've been to at the London Stadium atmosphere, because everybody was up for it that day. Everybody.
Right.
And it was also the day I met up with Frank McAvenny and Stuart Slater.
Lovely.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. We beat City 2-1 at the Etihad. Sacco and Moyes. Moyes? No, can't be Moyes. Sully Circus just ramping up, getting ready to screw the club over the summer window. That's a good point, Arcel. Thank you for joining us, mate. Oh, and Moses, there we go.
Victor Moses.
Victor Moses is one of my favourite ever loan players.
I liked him. Yeah, I liked him.
I did too. He had a good character. All the boys loved him. He joined in all the fun and the antics. I've seen some of the videos on YouTube and that. And you know, he was a decent player too. Had a real good attitude. That's what I liked about him. Steve Irons 80. Good evening, Steve. Thank you for joining us.
Steve.
Getting a whole hand of Steve's here in a minute, haven't we?
Yeah.
I must admit, Moyes has done well for us, but we do need to move on.
That's about it, Steve.
That's about it. Sense of opinion amongst most West Ham fans now. I think there are still some people that will deny that he should go, but not many now. Totally agree. We need to be going for whoever Tim wants. Yep, agreeing with you, Kieran.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I could never understand why it's an issue buying a fucking manager when you're prepared to lose so much money on transfers, and one bad transfer, is a manager. Why not pay for a manager that you really want, if you really want them? So whoever Staunton wants, whatever it costs to get him out of that job, it costs. If you don't go with a manager just because he's out of work. The reason he's out of work, but it shouldn't matter in the scheme of things. It shouldn't matter.
Keith, he says it gives dignity to us fans as well as to Moyes. To be honest, totally Moyes out now. but give him some applause. The wanker signs can wait.
Yeah.
Wait till he comes back with another team against us. That's it, Keith. That's a good attitude, mate.
No, it'd be very bad form to give him any more stick. We know he's on the way out. That's it. It's done. So the worry was before any of this is that Sullivan could have given him a new contract, and only 6 weeks ago that was on the cards. Nobody knew, and that was, I think, generating anger towards Moyes.
Yeah.
And if you want a reason why ticket sales ain't going up is because people are scared that you're going to do this for another 3 years, and they don't want to watch that week in, week out, that kind of football. They just don't. And it doesn't work in the long run. It's quite depressing.
Stuart says the best atmosphere at Upton Park that when he was visiting it is the Ipswich playoff semi-final. Yeah,
I've heard that many times, Stuart, about that one. Obviously, I weren't there. I'd moved to Australia by then, but I heard that so many people said that. I reckon it's amazing.
A lot of the old school hammers do, actually. I'm assuming you're one of the old school hammers, Stuart. By that I mean like 45 plus. Ray says, can Tim and Sullivan agree on a manager though? Hope so. Let's hope so.
Right. That's the $1 million question, bro. That's the $1 million question. To me, Sullivan shouldn't have to agree with it. In my world is Tim says who he wants, he goes and gets it. That's it. Or Tim goes and gets it. But he's the guy you need. And if you can't get him, then the second on Starting's list, right, let's go and get him. Nothing to do with Sullivan. It shouldn't have any say in it whatsoever.
Steve Tiley says we beat City up at the Etihad in the Cup. Ashton scored a blinder in a 2-1 win. I actually kind of recall that now. I do recall that. The best atmosphere at the London Stadium I've been to when we beat Man United. Yeah, I wasn't at that game. For me, I think the Leverkusen game or the Chelsea game are the two best atmospheres I've experienced.
Obviously, me not being there, but one of the best atmospheres I remember coming across the telly, and it was all about the film. It was the Chelsea game, but when the one where Masuaki scored that blinder at the end. On the telly, the atmosphere there sounded fucking amazing. It really was pumping. And when Masuaki scored that goal, fuck knows how it in. But it did.
No, I wasn't there either, but I agree. And, listen, I was at the Brighton game this year, away at Brighton and at home. But the away game, we created more atmosphere than the Brighton fans did. It was fantastic. Honestly, the away fans are probably the best fans in the stadium, of any stadium. They're brilliant. They really are. Really quality. Away fans are quality. Spot on, Kieran. The money we waste and spend on Ings, Phillips, etc., would pay for a seriously top draw manager. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, does it? Yeah. Best atmosphere, Steve Tiley, best atmosphere he ever went to at Upton Park was when I was 11.
That's me, Steve.
Semi-final, Frankfurt 76.
That's mine too. I was at that. Now you're talking my era. I was at that, and it was the most amazing atmosphere, and the tension in the air, everything about it was, that was my favourite.
Actually, do you know something? I wasn't at the game, and I couldn't get there. I was 14 at the time, and my dad wouldn't let me out of the house.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was 15, and I remember. I was
14, but you got to remember, Kieran, it was like 2.5 hours on train.
I knew. I didn't expect you to be at a lot of the games, bud, where you were. But you know what I mean? We didn't have any money either to travel. We had to beg and borrow to just get to games and get around the country. For me, I had to borrow money off. Borrow. I used to be my brother's dog's body right? So give me a couple of quid so I could fucking try and get to games and whatever. But I do remember that. And for some reason, I suppose the ticket thing, I ended up in the West Side, which was unusual. I'd normally be in the Chicken Run or South Bank or North Bank, and in the West Side for that game. But my God, what an atmosphere! It was jumping.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
And I always forget that, Steve. That the Frankfurt. I always I know it's F, and I'm going, who was it? Who was it? My memory is so bad. But it was the Frankfurt game. Wow. Yeah, it was.
I think my favourite game at Upton Park, best atmosphere, I think, for me at Upton Park, because you've got to remember, I didn't go for some years. I think it was probably about 83, 84 season, maybe 82, 83 season. It was Tottenham at home, and I think we smashed them about 3-0, but absolutely destroyed them. And it was just, I mean, I was actually in the Chicken Run for that game, and I never had such a good time at a game. Honestly, it was just everybody was just fucking shaking the place down. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Can you imagine how the foundations of the stadium were feeling, mate? Because it was just mental in there. Absolutely.
But even standing them created more atmosphere because people could stand. Most of the ground was standing.
What I mean. Everybody was fucking jumping up and down. That's what I'm saying.
That created more atmosphere there.
Oh, mate, it was brilliant. Good evening to you, Tony. Thank you for joining us, Early Doors Football TV.
G'day, Tony.
If you haven't given him a look, please do. Sunday nights especially, he does a Sunday night takeaway on Early Doors Football TV. And
he comes on early.
Yeah, and it's funny as buggery, I tell you. At times, good conversation, but it's funny as well because there's plenty of banter. Steve Irons 80 says, I'm just going to call you Steve Irons. I agree, Stuart, that Ipswich game was electric, incredible. Yeah, see, another person that was there and enjoyed it. Big up all in the chat. Steve T, I'm a bit young, but if I had a time machine, that's the game I'd like to go to. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I couldn't get to it and everything, but looking back on it and hearing stories from certain fans, I've talked to other fans. It's one of the things I do. And, there's been mention of that game so much.
Russie B made a good statement about it, actually. He said the amount of people had told him that was the greatest, probably, atmospheric game at Upton Park. He said there must have been 300,000 people there because everyone claims to have been there. But I was.
Yeah, brilliant. But, so next one. Keith, our away support is the best in the Premier League by far.
I don't know. There's a couple of contenders, Keith. Me sitting on the fence there. I think Newcastle away fans are pretty good.
Yeah, they ain't bad either.
They're pretty good, too.
Yeah, they ain't bad. And to be fair, and completely fair, Leeds fans ain't bad either. I know they're not in the Premier League.
And Leeds, yeah, Leeds are another contender for it too.
Leeds fans are proper noisy, and they're good fun. They're good fun usually.
When you, I always think I always sort of give Geordies a bit of credit because a lot of their game, are a long way from bloody Newcastle, aren't they? All the way to the south coast to London. Yeah, they've got a lot of travelling. Travelling to do.
They're the closest thing to Scotsman that England have got, aren't they? In the way of football. I think they're the most northern club, aren't they?
I think they are. He's off. Oh, mate. He agreed with me.
Yeah, mate, fucking brilliant timing that was. Half time, isn't it? Right, yeah. So, Steve, I believe Brooking played really good that
he was
night.
the architect, right?
Listen,
Yeah, he was the
Trevor
architect
Brooking,
that night. He was amazing.
Trevor Brooking is one of the most underrated by many, but revered by most West Ham fans that have watched him play.
Yeah,
and England fans as well, actually.
Yeah.
But,
I used to love him and Keegan playing together for England.
Oh, they were brilliant together. But Trevor Brooking was, for me, he was the perfect number 10. Perfect number 10 for the era. You know?
I agree.
I thought he was everywhere.
He was amazing. Right. Yeah. And like I say, we only remember the good bits. I'm sure Brooking had shit games and he was rubbish, but I ain't remembering him. I don't give a fuck about him. All I remember is the brilliance of him. Yeah. Him and Devonshire were just a revelation.
Oh, Devonshire was absolutely.
You know what I mean? They were my two favourite players. You know, when it talked about skill and craft on the ball, they were the two boys.
We've got a player that excites me as much as Devonshire did right now in Mohamed Kudus. He's that kind of player that just bursts into life. You know what I mean?
He does burst into life.
Doesn't he?
Let's hope we get a manager that can make it really work.
Yeah. And Devo was just like that. You know, 1 minute Devonshire would be kind of like looking to get the ball, and then the next thing, bang, he's on his way.
He set up so many goals. He set up so much.
His assist rate must have been through the fucking roof. Steve Tiley, Steve Irons. Steve Tiley, I was only a kid for the Frankfurt game, but I also wasn't there, but loved it.
Yeah, it was it's one of the old real classics of West Ham.
I do believe it's available on YouTube.
Is it? You know, because you have memories of it and being amazing. I actually wouldn't mind watching it, Budge, again. You know what I mean? Because I can't remember that much about the game, but I'd like to watch it again just to refresh my memory.
I do believe that it's available on YouTube, but I'm not 100% certain. I know definitely the Ipswich game is. Excuse me.
I don't think. I think it might have been about the same time, Geezer. My brother-in-law took me to Wembley.
Yeah.
First time to watch England.
Yeah.
And it was England versus Cyprus. And we went to Wembley to watch it. And Malcolm McDonald scored 5 goals.
Wicked.
There you go.
Wicked. You know what? If Malcolm McDonald was playing in today's era, he would be my favourite number 9 of all time.
Whether he works in the modern game, I don't know, but he was great. He was a great player.
You know what I mean? I think that Malcolm McDonald, for me, at that time, epitomised the 9 role. I don't think there was a better number 9 than him.
No, he was good at it, mate. He was good.
You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, Peter Osgood was very good. You know, Pop Robson was very good. You know, there were a lot of great number 9s around. But, you know, he was right up there for me.
Malcolm he was amazing. For a while there, he was really, really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. Also, like Peter Osgood as well. I thought he was quite.
Yeah, I like Peter.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the chat. I'll keep going off on a tangent, don't I? Ray, he scored twice, and Keith Robson the other goal. Yes, indeed it was. The Arsenal game when Declan Rice scored his first goal. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, right, against Arsenal. Yeah, I remember that. He scored his first goal for us, didn't he? Yeah, I remember that.
Right. Yes, he did. Yes,
he did. Yeah.
For us, yes, of course. Another great game, the atmosphere. was in fact defeat in 1981 Cup Winners' Cup quarter-final, lost 4-1 to Dinamo Tbilisi.
Yeah,
in typical West Ham fashion, we beat them 1-0 away in the second leg. Stuart Pearson scored.
Yeah, it was, man. It was a great atmosphere until they smashed us. Right? But that's the only time I've known a West Ham crowd to applaud another team off the pitch. I've never seen it before. Tbilisi were fantastic in that first leg. Really good. And he went well.
Absolutely, James. I fully agree with that comment. The old chicken run before the seats were put in my opinion, was the best place on the planet to watch football.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
It really, really was. And, you know, sometimes you were really lucky to get in there and all, because, like, people were just going, who's that?
Yeah.
Go on, fuck off, mate. You're not a reg. You know what I mean? But then there were other times you walk up behind somebody that was a regular and they just, like, go, yeah, cool, carry on, mate. Yeah, in you go. Sort of thing. You know, it was like, it weren't like there was gates or anything. It was just like, you had to go in from one end of it or the other, didn't you?
Oh, I loved it in the Chicken Run was the best place to watch it at West Ham. It really was. And the abuse and the banter. But especially when they had to, I mean, you've got to remember, before they moved that pitch, they had to come back to the wall, almost lean on it to take a throw someplace. And I remember the Tottenham boy, what was his fucking name? Well, he leaned back on the wall and I called him a big nose C, right in his ear roll. He nearly dropped the fucking ball. I'll never forget that. Yeah. Fuck, it was great. You could really get into it, mate.
Hello.
Oh, that one guy's a mark. Man. Oh, that fucker Kerry Dixon. I don't think that was the first time that fucker done us. What a fucker he was for us. Yeah, I remember that bastard.
Yeah, he's actually one of my brother's favourite, you know, players.
Oh, he was a fucker against us, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he done us a couple of times. I remember that one.
The unofficial attendance for the Frankfurt game was 42k.
There you go.
Keith says, my favourite memory of Upton Park game was the 4-3 win against Spurs in 97. I was working that night, but cheered when Dick scored that winning penalty.
No.
Yeah. Just imagine it, seeing the Copper game. Yeah.
I went I remember the quarter-final of 1980 against Villa when Ray Stewart scored the penalty in the last kick of the game, basically. And we've done it before, Roger. I was in the South Bank amongst all the Villa fans. About 100 of us behind that goal. Fuck me. What a day that was. They were throwing coins at us, Budge, but all the Villa, because they put a police fucking cordon around us. But they were throwing coins, but I don't think any of them were pound coins back then. It was only 2p's and fruity bits, whatever they were.
Stuart says, could you name your best 11 for West Ham? I could,
no. Take me hours.
Not on this channel, I can't.
It could take me hours to put that together.
And it has. It's taken me a lot of hours, and not even Russie B knows it yet, and he wants me to tell it to him.
But I will tell you this, Stuart.
I will be doing that.
When you think about, you know, the era we've been in, we've had a lot to see. But even said that, there's one player I would definitely have in that team. Now, I haven't thought about putting a team together or not, because so many to choose from. But one player, and that would be Dimitri Payet. He would be my first pick to go in there.
Yeah.
So I thought
whereas mine would be number 6.
I'd have him in that team.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, like, yeah.
And I've got a lot to choose from. Stuart, you might have two, Stuart, but
if you're gonna put a best 11 together, you've got to have watched them play, right? Whether it be on TV or, you know, live in the stadium or whatever, but you've got to have been old enough to have seen them play.
That's the trouble, Bud. We watched too fucking many.
Exactly that, and that's
I'd
why
like to be 20 again and not have much of a choice.
That's why Bobby Moore would be number 1 on my team sheet, because for me, he is Mr. West Ham.
Yeah, it's hard not to pick. It's hard not to pick.
Yeah, so yeah, he would have to be my centre back.
Billy Bonds. It's hard not to pick.
That's all I'm ever going to reveal from my Hammers 11.
The trouble is, I'd go back to the 1980, right, when I was at Wembley winning the cup final, and I just picked them fuckers. I said, that'll do. Brooking and Devonshire, how do you stop? How can you not have them in it? How can you not have Billy Bonds in it? How can you not have Phil Parks? Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Maybe I'm...
Now, I do love Phil Parks. Don't get me wrong. I do love Phil Parks. But there is another keeper I would pick over
Well,
him.
you go Ludo?
No.
No?
No.
I know. Back. Roberto. You'd fucking go Roberto, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would go Roberto, yeah. No, further back than that.
Fucking hell, mate.
I'd probably go with Bobby Ferguson. I loved him as a goalkeeper.
Yeah, I think Parks was an upgrade.
I wanted to play in goal.
I like Ferguson. I think Parks was an upgrade.
Yeah, of course he was, but but anyway, he's not in my 11.
That's the trouble. You'd have 6. We could pick 6 teams.
It probably could. Yeah,
it just makes it bloody hard when you've seen 2 million.
Actually, I could probably pick 2 teams that, if through the passage of time machines and stuff, if you could get them all, you could probably pick 22 players to play against each other, couldn't you? Just out of West Ham players you really love. At least have 22 players on a pitch easily. But there you go. Sorry, Stuart, I'm not going to do that because that would spoil a further show that's planned, I think, for the off-season period. We all know Paqueta's head is already in Manchester. I just feel with no European football next season, Kudus will be off. Look,
his head might be in Manchester, Steve. I'm not sure Guardiola's going to bring his feet to it because after his last 4 fucking performances, I think he's been our worst player in the last month. Now, I'd be looking at that if I was...
He's not been great.
Fucking hell, mate. How much you want for him? I wouldn't give you 85 million.
Which is why I still...
Tell you that.
I mean, I maintain that the Palace game is probably the worst game that Emerson's ever played.
Yeah, he's sort of dropping off a little bit lately as well. Like they all are, Budge. They all have been dropped off a little. Yeah,
But they're fucking tired, mate.
I think they are, mate. I think they're absolutely
mentally as well as physically.
Yeah, I think so.
I can vaguely remember being in competition for judo, and when you're in competition, building up to it, it kind of, with the training and the mental devotion you got to have to whatever sport or whatever it is you're doing.
It is, mate. The mental side of it is tough.
It is really tough. And, and like when you're playing against, when you're against somebody that the strength and the quality of them, you kind of like, you stress about it a bit more because, well, maybe not stress isn't the right word. Maybe you prepare more. And it just kind of adds to all that mental stress, mental weight.
I'll tell you, mostly I played as, right back, left back, centre half, right midfield. But I remember here, it's not on anywhere near the level we're talking about in the Premier League, for fuck's sake. But we were in a good league, and we were a second division side, and we got to the semi-final of, say, the FA Cup of that league, playing against the top team of that league. Fuck me. It's like playing Man United. I mean, fuck's sake. Anyway, we were under the pump. We scored in about 8th minute. Out of nothing. We scored a goal. 1-0 up. And for the next fucking 82 minutes. They fucking hammered us. Lucky enough, we had a really good keeper. He pulled offside, but I was defending, blocking, fouling, kicking. And it was pressure on pressure on pressure right to the end. And we held on and got to the final, which we went and won. Thank you very much. I was a player coached it. And after that semi-final, I've never felt more drained in a game to defend, for 80 minutes of the game. It was fucking killing me. Now, a lot of West Ham players are doing that fucking half the season or more. It's draining, man. It's tiring as fuck.
I was playing for a team. I was about 24, 25, I suppose. And the captain was also the manager. He was a player manager. And he really rated himself. And he weren't that great, to be fair. But he was decent enough. And he kept on picking himself to take penalties and free kicks and corners. And why is this guy doing it all? He was doing it all.
Did he? Was it his ball?
One day,
was it his ball?
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's my ball. I'll take
one day we got this free kick because he got taken out, and he couldn't actually physically kick a ball, so he had to sub himself. He had no choice, right? So I stepped up to take this free kick, and he's going, no, I want blah, blah, take it, blah, blah. I said, look, wrong foot for him. You want a right footer for this, not a left footer. Anyway, so I fucking argued my point, took this free kick, hit the keeper square in the face with it. It was from outside the box, and it went in, got a goal. And so after that, I kept telling him I wanted to take the free kicks from the left-hand side of the pitch, And out of, I don't know, I think I must have taken about 7 that season. And out of them, I scored 3, which I thought was pretty good numbers. I think I might have got 1 assist out of it as well, if you think about it, like when I think about it. But anyway, so this guy was so fucking stubborn in everything he did. At the end of the season, he was like saying to us, oh, you're going to sign again next season and that. Do you know how many people re-signed for him the following season?
Yeah, you can't beat on it, mate. I mean, I subbed in that final. I subbed myself off in the last 15 minutes because I knew I pulled something in the groin, and I took myself off. And I was playing against this really tricky left winger geezer, really fast as fuck. But I had his number, mate. I had his number. I'd run up his ass, pretending to get up him and then drop off. He'd let the ball fall. I'd take it off him. I was doing really, and my mate who I brought on, I said, mate, watch him. He's tricky. Don't go right too close to him. He's gonna turn you. What did my mate do? Fucking straight in. First minute he was on, he gave a penalty away.
Oh no!
Went again, and the boy flicked it round him, and he took his legs away. I went, "Oh, for fuck!" Just a little bit of a story that means nothing, but I know we won it anyway.
Well, listen, this is old school Hammers. We're allowed to do this.
We can tell stories about things that don't matter.
We can talk about what we like. Actually, do you know what? When I left that club, that team weren't a club. When I left that team. They were called what was it? Handcross Dynamos, I think it was, something like that. Anyway, I left them and went to play for Crawley Hospital. They had a social club and everything, and they had this team. They were doing all right. They were in the 3rd division of like 5 divisions in the local league, and they were in the 3rd division. So went and spoke to the guys, and I said, and their kit was very similar to the Brighton kit, dark blue shorts, blue shorts, blue socks, and the blue and white striped top, Huddersfield, if you like, whatever. Anyway, so I went to play for them, and he said to me, what position do you play? Well, at the time, I had aspirations for moving further up the pitch. So I said to him, I'm a left midfielder, you know. So he's like, you got a left foot then? I said, well, I'm developing it. You know, I've been developing it for about the last 8 years. You know, I have got a left foot. It's not brilliant, but it's okay. So, but I've got a good right foot, and I like turning players and then whipping the ball in. So he said, "What? You're a winger?" I said, "No, I'm not a winger. That's one thing I'm not. I'm not fast enough, but I can play with a winger." So anyway, I did that, and I had 4 goals in the first 5 games.
Sandy.
Loved it. Never got another one for about 9 games, but a couple of free kicks and so on and so forth, you know, like putting onto people's heads and that. Loved it. I loved being out on the left, like on the left of midfield. I loved it.
Yeah, my target playing at right back was 4 or 5 goals a year, and I usually hit that. That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
4 or 5 a season. That was
my highest tally was 9 in a season.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Fucking, I'll pick you for West Ham, boy. I think that's enough. No, that's enough. Anyway.
Wait, listen. How many goals does Alvarez expect to get this season? He's had 2, is it, or 3?
No, I wouldn't expect many at all.
You know what I mean? Well, that's kind of the position I was playing in.
I'm more of a Sue Fowl. Haven't scored yet.
In fact, if you like, I'm probably more, Sue Fowl. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Haven't scored yet. Yeah,
anyway.
I was thinking Socek. Right. Well, anyway, listen, we've been going for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, finish up your few comments, mate, and we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll go a few comments. 8-0 win against Cyprus, 1975.
Is that what it ended up? 8-0. I remember him scoring 5 goes up. I didn't realise Cyprus was just a little island, you know, with nobody on it.
Good research, Mark. Thank you. We're talking
I was 14. There you go.
Yeah, 75. I was 13. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That's when he was one of my heroes. Frank Worthington was another one. Do you remember Frank? Loved him. Leicester City. He was at Leicester City. He was fucking brilliant. I loved him.
Frank Worthington?
Yeah, he was at Arsenal.
Great. Nice head of hair. Nice moustache. Nice head of hair.
Yeah, you could always tell him and all because he was about 44 foot tall. I think he was about 6'2", wasn't he? If Malcolm McDonald played today, he'd be sent off before he broke into a sweat.
Yeah. I think he might not suit today's game.
Yeah, mate, yeah.
He's a bit of a bruiser, wasn't he?
Yeah, could you imagine the likes of Billy Bremner in the game now? Get it out.
Yeah, Norman Hunter.
Mate, these players are sitting on their backs like fucking breakdancers, mate, these days. Good night, guys. Great show. Thanks. Thank you for joining us. Big up to Wolfie. Thank you for joining us, Simon.
Yeah, Wolfie.
Big and Kieran. Thank you for joining us, sir. Anthony Herbert. Look, they're all coming in now. Look, bless them. Anthony, big up Budgie and Kieran. Happy Arsenal fan here.
Well, that's the menagerie of this garden, Anthony. I'd have no control. They just cheat when they want, mate.
He's in Brisbane in Australia, Anthony. So, that's uncontrollable, actually. Big up Wolfie, says Tony. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. He's chatting to Tony, who says he's moisin. Yeah, I believe that when I see it. Bongo, that terracing in the chicken run was so steep that you were looking down.
Yeah, James. Yeah, they had bigger steps in there, I think, James, didn't they?
Yeah.
What a place to be, yeah.
The boss has arrived, look. Hello, boss.
Good on you, not.
How you doing, lads?
All right, brother.
Kieran, mate, you all right, Budge?
Yeah, good for you.
What? I'm tired. I'm I'm genuinely not staying on long. I was just actually coming in to do a few things, and then yeah, I've got a crazy day tomorrow. But I thought I'd come in and say hello, and it was good to hang about with you, Budge, the other night.
Yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed the game with you and Freddie and everyone else. It was nice. It was really good.
You enjoyed the game?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
what are you saying, Kieran?
All right, mate. Yeah, I enjoyed the game, but I actually enjoyed watching Palace more than I did watching us.
No, not that game, that bloody melt.
Oh, not that one.
No, not that one. No, that one.
Leverkusen game.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, well, mate, it was good. First half was great to watch it from here, mate. I was really excited. Great first half, mate. I might actually go and watch that first half again because I'd love to see. I'd love to see that.
It would be worthwhile to do that because I swear to God, if we just converted a couple of those chances, holy shit!
Yeah,
and the atmosphere wasn't it, Budgie, mate? It was just like electric.
I know. We were talking about that earlier, and I said that.
Yeah, it came across good. It came across good here.
Yeah, that atmosphere and the Chelsea game earlier in the season are probably the best two atmospheres I've experienced in that stadium because I weren't at the Seville game, so. But yeah, great atmosphere.
Poor little Freddie. We were walking back to Hackney to go and get a cab from somewhere, and Freddie, we phoned home, and Freddie was like on the phone to his mum, and he was like, "Mum, something wrong with my voice," and I was like, "Freddie, you've lost your voice." And he's like, oh, what does that mean? Will I get it back? And I was like, you will get it back. That just means that you've been shouting and screaming and singing. And I think that's the first time
where is it?
Ever
where is it? Dad, where is it?
I was so proud of him. I was like, I'm so proud of you, son. I'm so proud of you.
Do you know what? My journey home was not a pleasant one, Anton. I got on the train.
I seen a message he said,
Yeah, there was a fight between West Ham fans on the train. We were delayed at Croydon for 38 minutes.
Lovely.
And then when they did get them off the train, we started moving on. And then they decided to cut out a load of the stations because of the delay. I was thinking, oh no, at least my station was the end of the line, you know what I mean?
It's always the end of the line.
Yeah, but they cut out about 8 stops. And they just left in Gatwick and Three Bridges. I was like, yes, thank you. I thought they were going to terminate it at Gatwick, which would have cost me about another 20 quid to get home.
No,
oh man,
no, it was. I sat here and watched it. We got live. I think it was 5 a.m. that kicked off for me, boys, and I couldn't believe the start we'd made. And I went, now we're talking. Now we're upsetting them, and really rattled. They were rattled, man. And for Alonso to drag that centre half off after 28 minutes, you knew he was rattled. You knew he had to do something. And fair play to him, he done it. The boy was getting fucking roasted, and he was all over the place. But he saw it, and he acted on it. Fair play to him. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. You don't do what he's done without knowing what you're talking about or knowing what you're doing. You know. But I do think there's an element of, God, it's a big statement I'm about to make here and a big bold statement, but I think what Leverkusen are doing does feel slightly Leicesterish. I don't know if they've got the squad themselves or depth and strength to be able to continue doing that. But who knows? Who am I to say that? You know? Alonso obviously believes in the project. So.
You can say that, but their bench won them the first game, and their bench got them the draw in the second game. So
yeah, that's true.
He does have players to change things and affect the game, where we sort of don't. And I think that was the difference.
I mean, I've not had a chance to. My wife has got a list of things that I need to do because I keep going to things, and she's like, "You need to come back and do this." But is Sully at it? Is David Sullivan at it? I mean, is he putting these leaks out? Is Amber on a real leak? Is it?
It's a distinct possibility, mate, isn't it? I mean, we know the dirty-handed, under-table stuff he does, and that could be, he's trying to fish for more. Season ticket sales. He could be, trying to G us up so that, we try and get a bit more positive for the last few games. It could be anything. But then it could be actually that he's genuinely going to replace David Moyes.
I mean, do you know what? I done a video yesterday, and I actually had a couple of people message me and say, "Are you okay, Anton?" But I was what I said was, when I done the video, didn't script it. I was so tired, and it came across like I was quite depressed about the situation, and I didn't mean it to come across like that. Mm-hmm. But what I am annoyed about is the fact that we don't have a history of a owner who has negotiated well with a manager. We've never have ever negotiated well under this ownership with a manager. So that's where, when people talk and say anyone, I'm like, well, if anyone under the right ownership is okay. I'm not saying I want to be stuck with it, David Moyes either. I don't think many people maybe possibly do. I think we can gentleman's agreement to go, thank you very much for everything you've done. It's time to move on. But with the man that's in charge, there's one saving grace for me, and it's Tim Steidten. Timmy's hanging about. Why is he hanging about? That's what I'm interested in. If Timmy's hanging about and he believes that there's a project there, because if he didn't believe there was a project there, he'd be gone. So he must know that maybe this summer, that's what makes it interesting. Maybe this summer he has full control. That's why I don't believe that some of the stories that are coming out now that are saying that Sullivan wants Lopetegui and Steidten wants Amaron.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. It's not 2 plus 2. It's like 2 plus 2 and it makes 7. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Do you think that then there's a possibility that when Steidten was taken on, Sullivan said to him, look, just tolerate having Moyes around for a year or so. He's going to be going at the end of his contract. Look for somebody in the meantime. And now the time is coming for him to start looking at people properly. Interviewing them.
I think his role would be always to look at managers, to be honest with you. So I think he's always had it. I do think there's been an element of, with the David Moyes situation, you had 2 camps. You had camps going, once he won the Europa Conference, see you later, thank you very much, or other ones that were going, give him the benefit of the doubt. I was on the camp of giving him the benefit of the doubt. And if he'd gone ahead and won the Europa League, then you can't struggle to fucking argue. We haven't, but it would be struggle to argue. And his only saving grace really this season will be to get us to the Europa, something in Europe, something. It's going to be magic, like pipe dream stuff.
I think Conference League is the best we can hope for, though. Isn't it? But you've seen the way that the league is going. Like, you've seen Manchester United, how they play sometimes. You've seen Liverpool tonight again be beaten. The league is all over the place, and it's interesting. But I think Tim was willing to give it a go. Whether he thinks it's worked or not, I don't think it probably has. And he's probably known, do you know what? You've got a year. Do your subtle. Bring in a couple of players. Let's see how Moyes reacts. Kudus, Alvarez. Let's see what happens there, Mavropanos. Yeah. And now, come this summer, I expect a full changeover and a different dynamic of how we work.
For me, and the what put the nail in Moyes' coffin, if you like, is the January window. All right, that was an opportunity because, like you said, I think Chelsea hit and miss, Newcastle hit and miss, Man United hit and miss. Since then, that you can't pick their results. You don't know what you're getting from them. So that 6th spot, 7th, was definitely up for the taking. But to get rid of 3 players and only bring in Phillips, who hasn't worked. Now, regardless whether it's a good thing or not, it hasn't worked. That weakened our squad, and that stopped that happening for me.
It did.
So
but Kieran, how many? The other thing to that is how many windows that you've just mentioned there have we gone through in the same situation?
Especially January.
Especially January windows when we were when we felt that we were 2 players away. I always felt for the last 2 seasons, I've always felt that in the January window, and I think we're all the same, we're either 1 or 2, probably 2 reasons. Do you know what? Not even like next level players, just players that can fit that mold. Are you telling me if we didn't bring in a central defender when we really needed to bring in one, that would have helped us? Are you telling me if we didn't bring in a striker who would have had some prowess of somewhere of some sort.
Even a left winger as well.
Our left winger. And then at that point, keep Fornals and keep Benrahma. Then the squad strength is there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the unfortunate thing with regards to those players is it seems, I don't know this for facts, but it seems that their heads weren't at the club. So they were tapping out. But then is that down to man management? Is that the issue? I don't know.
Exactly. So I think that's what cost us, mate. And it's definitely costing us now because, like you see, Leverkusen, when we went for 45, we lasted for probably 60 minutes, I thought. And then you could see everybody looking absolutely shattered. And then they changed it up a bit. Leverkusen came out as a bit more. And they do what they do. They score late goals. And they done it again at the weekend, 97 minute, this one, just to get a draw. But they do come strong. They don't give up till the very end. We just don't have the legs in that squad to go for 95 minutes. We just don't.
No, we don't.
And the options off the bench doesn't improve the team. It doesn't make it any better. So that's where we left ourselves at.
You're right. It's a massive concern when you look at the bench and you think, and it's, I hate being detrimental to any West Ham player. I want to give them a chance, but I think I'm a bit confused at why suddenly you're using Corney. Like, why now? Like, why all of a sudden, very close to the end of the season, you decided to? Well, yeah, but like, are you like? That's the conversation I'd love to have with David Moyes. Yeah, but I'd love to have the conversation with him to say there's been times this season that if you had embedded him in,
absolutely,
he may have got an opportunity. He did it at Lyon, he did it at Burnley, and he's not done it at West Ham. But he's not been given a fair crack at it.
I mean, even the week before, he brought on Earthy before he would bring on Cornet.
Yeah,
I mean that tells you everything. That he doesn't want to bring him on. He doesn't want to bring him on, and that's a sad thing. But maybe he realised how bad he is. But we bought him.
Yeah,
right, lads, I'm going to love and leave you. I'm going to love and leave you.
All right, Anton, thank you very much. We're going to wrap up soon anyway.
Kieran, take it easy.
Yeah,
thank you.
Talk to you later, Anton.
I'll turn all the lights off and lock up before I leave.
Cheers, lads. Come on, you Iron.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
Lovely. Yeah, so who remembers Bonzo and Peter Wise dancing up?
Yeah.
Cars? That was great. Yeah. I've watched that recently. There's a video of it on YouTube, and I've watched it recently. It's brilliant. I think it's actually on a. I'll come back to it.
It was a bruiser. Yeah.
It's one of Robert Banks's videos. He does the season reviews suddenly on YouTube. It was one of his videos. It was quite funny. That was, I remember that, Keith. Thank you for the memory. Norman Bite Your Legs Hunter. Yeah, he was
fucking animal. Animal he was.
Dangerous. Yes, Mark. Imagine Grealish being tackled by Norman Hunter. Mate, God, imagine him.
At least Grealish had something real to complain about.
Yeah. Paqueta even. If he good God. So problem is Sullivan gets the manager overside, and then he can expect a riot on his hands.
Yeah, wouldn't be a good thing. I just don't believe that's true. I think I'm hoping that he does get who he wants starting.
Good
night, Lawrence.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you. We are quite late in the day, so we're not going to be around for much longer. People saying hello. And who's this? I watched it recently. Last game at Upton Park. Yeah, I've actually watched that game probably about 5 times in the last 3 years. I love that game. I absolutely love it. And on my own channel on Green Street Elites, I did a little kind of chat about it, like a match day rewind thing, I called it. That was quite good fun. There was a few people on that. Even the rebuild with the squad next season, I'm concerned that Sully will not allow Steiden to build the squad without butting heads.
Let's hope not, Mark.
Yeah, there is that. But, well, we're at the bottom of the comments now. Thank you, everybody that has joined us. At the moment, we're at 195 people. I don't know how many likes there are, so please remember to like the stream if you enjoyed what you've seen and heard. I know we've been talking bollocks, but we get away with it. Night from Malden. Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart Malden.
Mate. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Kieran, anything you want to add to everything we've already said?
No, mate. We'll see how the season pans out, mate. We know we're all sort of a little bit down on it. It's sort of fizzled out, isn't it? And never know. We might pull up a surprise to keep us happy enough. We might get maybe a manager that we look forward to for next year. So the rumours and all that get boring, but sooner or later there will be a manager in place. I think that won't be Moyes, and we'll say goodbye and thank you very much to Moyes, and hopefully the new manager. As much as I think he'll have a tough start next season to rebuild his team, hopefully he does well, mate. And maybe we'll nick that result. Maybe we'll do a Chelsea. Maybe we'll do a Liverpool. Do them. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. Just to let you know, while you're still in the, still watching, still in the chat, we are coming close to the end of the season. We're not going to have any finals or anything to look forward to, but as old school hammers, we will still be here every Wednesday, for as much as we can, unless one of us is on holiday or anything. But we'll still be doing the old school hammers. But what we'll be doing is we'll be delving back in time a bit. We'll have a look at some of the old players. We'll have a look at some of the old games. We may even have a little chat dedicated to certain games, like the last game at the bowling, etc., etc. We'll still be here during the off season, but you won't be getting any transfer rumours or anything like that. You will only get news, actual confirmed in the flesh news. We won't be doing transfer rumours. That is not what we do, is it, mate?
No, unless one signs, we can talk about him if he signed on the dotted line. None of this. We're linked and linked.
Yeah.
We'll leave that to Russie. Russie's got his fingers all over that. Yeah, Russie really doesn't.
Yeah, there's so many people out there on YouTube that do that so much better than we do. So we will just talk bollocks and get away with it for the next, indefinite future.
And then we could be here next week talking about smashing Liverpool 3-0. Who knows?
Wouldn't that be a fucking story? Hey, wouldn't it be a story? Brilliant. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And if you want a ref roundup, mate, I'll happily jump on. Brilliant, Keith. In fact, I'll tell you what, we will do that. I will talk to you about that. I've got your details.
Yeah. You can start by telling me why Nottingham Forest didn't get 3 penalties the other night. That's another story.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, we're going to hold you fully responsible for that case. We'll smash the pool. Yeah, definitely. Right, well, listen, guys, girls, thank you for everybody making comments. Sorry if I've missed any out. Thank you for Anton joining us. That's a real pleasure, as always. It's nice to know.
I'm just any of the Aussie boys there, mate. It's Anzac Day. Is it today? Or is it tomorrow? We got Anzac Day here, mate. Big day in Australia. Coming up. It's either today or tomorrow. Not sure. Yeah. So there you go.
Keith says he makes 100% Forest 100% right with their rant. I agree. Someone's got to say something. Someone has got to say something. And they're probably going to get some sort of sanction for it. But, if I was that club owner, I'd go, fuck sanction. It's got to be said. Got to be said. Anzac Day for us Brits here. Huge respect.
Absolutely. I think it's today. Yeah. It's a big thing here, mate.
Well, have a good day, mate. Enjoy your VB and your red. Don't mix your drinks, boys and girls. It's not a good idea. But anyway, have a great day, everybody. I'm going to play a little video to show us out. And
later, boys.
We will see you.
And girls.
Very near, boys and girls. We will see you in the very near future. Good night. Take care. Come on, your hands.